everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 frames per second. This FPS is titled Tune In Next For, but you won't have to tune in next for to listen to us. And by us, I mean me. Hi, I'm Trad, also known as Traditional Preference. And today I am joined by the wonderful, the amazing, the very, very fantastic.
Nikolai Noir. Nikolai Noir, Private Eye, as played by Heartless.
Oh,
And
I
I'm
love
trying
this.
on a new accent.
Good for him. Yeah, I support them in all of their endeavors. It might not be the best bet, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um, so, uh, Hart is playing Nikolai, or Nikolai is playing Hart, one or the other. Take your pick.
Like a
Um,
fiddle.
and I will be playing slash played by Professor Periwinkle, or Professor Periwinkle without whatever that accent is. I'm not changing it.
It's
Everyone's stuck with it now.
Periwinkle.
You're stuck with it now. Um, so yeah, this FPS takes place I mean, like half of a phone call. It's half a phone call. So do we
um,
want to start off with the connecting then, Hart? Making the connection.
we should probably say what this is like. How much time
Nah,
has passed?
that probably would be ideal. Yeah. So, Hart, how long has it took Nikolai to get back to Evening Tide Glen from Thornbury Manor?
It took Nikolai two weeks to get back because Nikolai did not have enough. It took me 2 weeks to get back from the Thornbury Manor. I didn't have enough gold to get another ticket for the transportation circle to Villestown because I, of course, need to pay the bills for the office and my own apartment and my car. Lightly said car as it's still in the shop. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's been 2 weeks since the last FPS between Periwinkle and Nikolai. Um, and yeah, Nikolai, you are um I'm assuming your coworkers would have told you what's been going on in that interim, but
Oh, yes. And I kept getting interrogated by Aunt Casey. Who is this Professor Periwinkle? Why do they keep calling for me? What is my relationship with them? I just it's a lot. It's a lot.
it is a lot. Speaking of a lot, Nikolai, you are alone at the office now for one reason or another. Um, and
Magnus is off doing whatever it is that Magnus wants to do. Creech is at, I I think I think he said they were at speech therapy. Not sure. And Alice is on vacation, and Aunt Casey went to go get groceries. So I am actually alone here at the office because the new guy, uh, admittedly, needed some time to process.
that's valid. And you're very conveniently at the office at a very particular time. And that very particular time would be when the phone rings.
Bring, 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 bring. The phone rang as I turned off the radio after listening to the wonderful radio talent that we have here in Eventide Glen. It's 6 o'clock here, about that time, and And hurriedly I hurriedly got up from my seat and scrambled on over to the phone and picked it up as, well, at 6 p.m. we don't usually get calls for cases, but it's not too out of the unusual here in Eventide Glen. So I pick it up and I hear on the other end.
Okay, the midnight crew. Yes, that is who I'm looking to. I don't to talk to. Hello, hello,
Professor,
hello.
Professor, I,
Oh,
I'm,
oh, Nikolai, you made it back. You made it back. You did not get eaten or anything, unless you did get eaten. Did you get eaten?
uh, no, I didn't get eaten. Um, I just got back, about yesterday. It was, it wasn't noon. No, it was late. It's kind of hard to tell time here. The sun only comes out at noon. Um, so why have you been calling for me every day since I've been gone? I questioned, mopping at my forehead with my sleeve.
Oh, I said I would call and we to talk and so I have been calling. I wanted to know that you made it back safe and everything like that, and I didn't know when you would be back, so I just kept calling. I figured I would call every day and figure out, and then I would hear back as soon as you're back. And we could talk about your town or whatever you wanted to. I did have a few questions I've been thinking up for. I've been going through the book, and also some questions about the ritual. It is very interesting. I hope let me know how the reception is. Ever since I got back to the Isle, it's been a little bit of hit or miss. I think I have found a way to get it through the shroud. With pretty consistently. But if someone doesn't like it or decides to pull a Frank, anything can happen. I can yell at someone if I need to. Um, so yes, your friend been talking with your friends. And
Oh boy.
Periwinkle makes a noise that sounds like static and the screech of the screams of the damned. Um, Continues has been helping me. They're very insightful. Had some good ideas about getting to the shroud and the circle, but then outside the circle to do everything like that. But yes, hello. How are you doing? How was your trip?
Pretty uneventful, thankfully. You've been talking to Creech? You actually understand him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course I do. It's a little weird. He talks in like several. They kind of all layered on top of each other, and I did not expect. See, I took Sylvian as like a hobby sort of thing, but it's in handy for this for some reason. But I do not understand the what is it called? What is it called? Oh, uh, the deep speech, I think, is the common word for it. That is more of Trusty's thing, but I'm usually able to at least say it back pretty well. So I can say his name and whatnot. But yes, there's very very much to say about all of you. It sounds like you have a very lovely band of folks over there. Um,
I'm
you know,
um
they
I'm gonna stop you right there. You're starting to make me blush. I say hurriedly, waving my hand as if you could see me. Um, uh, deep speech. Is that what air is talking sometimes? Oh, okay. Maybe
Only
I could
sometimes.
maybe I could learn some of that, but I don't know where A picked it up. Uh
Here and there, you can go into a lot of very interesting places in places people are not expecting you to go places. Pick up some very interesting things. You can blush. That would be very. I wish I was there. It'd be very, very interesting to see. I'm not very much sure how that would work.
well,
But
I'm pretty sure I'm blushing because I feel my face growing hot. It happens pretty often, considering Alice really likes to make me embarrassed. Uh,
Oh, Alice, yes, I've spoken to Alice once or twice. She says a lot of very lovely things about you and your folks. You say they are called the Midnight Crew, yes?
yep, that's us. I actually don't have any cases right now. I was gonna start looking into rumors of werewolves around the city, but it's not really that pressing. They haven't killed anyone.
I mean, as long as they're not doing any like dark rituals or anything, it's usually fine to leave them alone. Are you so Midnight Crew is a very interesting name. So are you like only a crew at midnight, or is there like a is that why I have to specify? I'm asking for I'm trying to contact the midnight crew. Is there like a mid afternoon crew or like an early morning crew?
You know, I
Um.
I really don't I really don't know if there's a mid-afternoon crew or not. So the trick thing here is that here in the city the sun only kind of comes out during the noontime, and it's a horrid time of day to be out. Nobody is out during noon, but the best time for stakeouts is midnight because it usually gets very quiet about then. And it's a lot easier to hear people when they're stalking about in the dark.
Speaking of hearing things, you can hear the occasional like scratch of like a pen on parchment on the other end.
I narrate this out loud. What are you? Oh, you're taking notes, aren't you?
Well, of course. If I'm going to visit, it seems like it is a very good idea to, hear about what is going on. And also, your city is so very interesting, and you and all of your friends. I've not very much encountered anything like that. Not on this, not here, the continent and stuff like that. I did not expect to find any place, sort of like that there. So, it's very, very interesting.
Oh,
Do
no place
you,
like home.
indeed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can go with that. Uh, so what is,
I raise an eyebrow for a moment as I listen for the professor to continue.
so I did have some questions about your town, if you wouldn't mind answering me, about them.
Best I can do. Some questions aren't meant to be answered. It's actually like the motto of our town. The council. You ask them questions and they tend to go, some questions aren't meant to be answered while waving all of their arms in your face. And I kind of get kind of put off whenever they do that towards me because I'm just trying to solve cases.
I think I would very much like to meet this council. They sound very, very interesting. But I do not agree with that either. If someone asks a question, then that means that the answer is good enough to be found some way or another. And you never take anybody's word for anything. That's what I always tell my students. Not even my word. If you want to, figure something out, then you do it, and you get that experience and all of that good stuff.
There
It's very, very important to develop your own opinions and your own experiences, as you do. It's a very important part of learning.
There is something to be said for recognizing when you go too far. I almost did when I was younger, and there are some things you don't want to have an eye on you. Just to put lightly, not that I'm calling anyone out. I'm not, I say, as I look around to the empty office, smiling towards any invisible cameras that might be there.
It sounds like you need to get better at like voting and stuff like that. If this is really an issue you're dealing with, it's we have some similar problems here on the aisles and stuff like that. Keeping out, you know, outside observers and all that. Do you
Uh,
think your little friends, the little blue ones with the funny limbs and all the extra eyes. Do you think they are maybe related to that?
um, I don't know what you're talking about. I have to roll now. Wow, okay, that's a 17. um, I, I'm sorry. You might have caught me on one of my days where I was getting a little too drunk. I don't know what you're talking about, Professor.
We were only drinking tea. I promise I didn't put anything too bad in it. Nothing that showed that you looked at like hallucinogenic responses. Unless do you have hallucinogenic responses to different substances that might not be typical for tunes?
Yeah, I'm pretty weird, uh, when it comes to tunes. There are not a lot of tunes like me. So, yeah, tea sometimes gives me a little, hallucinogenic high, and I really apologize for that.
Interesting, interesting. I wonder if I can, I've been, trying it again occasionally, and I was wondering about mail. If you could like send me more of your blood so I can do some more tests, that would be very, very interesting. Very
Nope,
wonderful.
I can't do that.
What? Is there no mail? Is
Uh,
there no mail?
the mail here does not go out to anywhere else. It's a wonder that I got that weird envelope at my apartment, actually. Because the mail here, you send it out, and either it comes back to you, or it comes back to you in shreds, or it actually reaches the person you're looking for, but they're now a resident here in Eventide Glen. So that's
Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. So presumably sending mail, draws the attention of either the city itself or some other sort of creatures that the city is, I don't know, protecting you from or
uh
talking to. Vishal does not very much like, me, we talking. We doing this. It's very interesting. Cause usually, these routers pretty chill with like, V9 stuff, but the implications of the fact, that I'm having to jump through all these hoops and draw more circles and do all that stuff is fascinating. So I guess I will have to. I realized I was going to offer, since you've never seen yourself. I was going to offer to make a sketch of what you look like if you wanted to see what you looked like. But
um
I guess that will have to wait until I see you in person next time then.
yes, it will have to wait until you see me. Uh relatively speaking, in person, as I am relatively hard to see.
Nah, it's just a second level spell. Seriously, it is literally just a second level spell. I'll see if I can maybe cook up some sort of potion that might make it possible for you to see as well. But yes, do not worry about how you look. I'd say very quite. Some might say you're quite handsome and all that stuff. So very,
Uh,
very, very lovely. Don't even worry about it. I will make sure. I will make sure to show you next time I see you again. Um. So yes.
yes, that would be lovely. Thank you. um, I'm gonna roll again. Ah, yes, 7. My
What?
my cheeks flush, and I hurriedly try to move the conversation along because this is not helping my heart not pound.
You have a heart?
Yep. Um. Right. I said that out loud, didn't I?
Yes, you very much did. You say very, very many things out loud.
Oh, okay.
It's very endearing. Uh. So.
Yes, I have a heart. How else would it beat? And I could feel it. How else would it flutter against my rib cage?
I do not know if something is fluttering against. Sorry.
Oh no! Momentary break of character, my friends.
These two idiots. Okay, hi. Hi, Art. Your commitment to the bit is fantastic. All right. Hi. And we're back. If something is fluttering against your rib cage, I would get that looked at. It might not actually be at heart. You might have like some sort of bird in there, or like other creature. There's many, very many things that can flutter against your rib cage. Fluttering is not exclusively a bird-like sort of thing to do. I would get that checked out. It might not actually be a heart.
I usually don't go to the doctors because I'm very healthy, but that's a good idea. I should go get that checked out.
If it hasn't killed you yet, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But there's always the possibility of future. Like if something dies in there, it's a whole thing. Um, so you can usually live. It might even have a symbiotic relationship with you. At the very least, it might not be parasitic. It could be parasitic though. You should get that checked out. If it is a parasite, well, it is at least invested in keeping you alive. So that is ideal. Um. So, yes, it is my opinion as a professor that you should get that checked out. Yeah, if you have something fluttering against your rib cage, that might not actually be a heart.
Okay. I wonder when Anais has next not busy times. He's been very busy as of late. Well, last I checked, which is 2 weeks ago, and it's almost a month ago. So maybe Z is not busy, and I can go see them.
2 weeks, a fun month. Does time run like congruent to the most of the area outside of your time? That is something I was wondering very much because, it seems like time runs more or less close, just based on the other calls I have had with your, associates and your friends and stuff like that. But, I'm not actually very sure, and I can't really get much through to do any tests.
It that really depends on where exactly you are in the city. I know that where our office is stationed is pretty, well, pretty cemented in a normal time flow. Uh, there is one place. It's this really, really pretty, like, giant art gallery, and it's in the middle of the Whispering Woods. And you kind of take a long path to get there, but it's usually worth it. But well, you happen to feel like you're not spending any time at all after you leave, but you've generally spent days in there.
Yeah, yeah, I've experienced something like that before. But at least it sounds like a very lovely time, an art gallery. Your town sounds very interesting. We will have to go visit sometime. I do
um
not know very much about art, but it doesn't take a lot of understanding to still appreciate art and stuff like that.
straight 10. You hear Nikolai mumble uh like on the other end of the receiver. And
Yeah.
yes, you hear Nikolai mumble at the other end of the receiver. You don't quite get it because it's pretty muffled.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, were you saying something?
Nope, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay.
uh,
I was
going to
wasn't
the
hearing things.
art gallery. Put it on your list. There are plenty of places to go here in Eventide Glen. Certainly not any walled gardens. Nope, not checking any of those out. Not at all.
Walled gardens? We don't really have walled gardens here. Is that some place you are not supposed to go? It sounds if it is some place you're not supposed to go, it sounds like it might be something. Is it something like our cornfield?
Sure, you could call it something like a cornfield. I say, knowing that it's nothing like a cornfield at all.
Hmm. You speak in riddles sometimes. It is cute. Uh, Very fun to
Hmm.
try and figure out. S- So, confused. Oh, I know. I had some. I've been writing down some questions while I've been talking to your other friends. They make very good conversation, but they usually like to talk about specific things. And when I try to ask about your town, say they sort of what is it like clam up a little bit. I think they might have been wanting to wait so I could talk to you, um, give us something to talk about. Very considerate of them. Uh,
um, so usually we don't tell anyone outside about certain things about Eventide Glen because it'll get dangerous for them. Because if you tell too much, well, things look at you. You don't want things looking at you. Trust me.
well, no need to worry. I'm a professor.
Yes, you are.
I am, yes. So you mentioned one of your holidays where you have is what it was a stalactite where it descends from the sky and touches down gently in the town. Do you know anything about the composition of that stalactite, or perhaps any origin? Is it extra planar, or what?
I honestly don't know. Nobody's been like brave enough to go up and touch it ever, because it kind of just, the tales say it appeared one day and kind of descended from the sky on top of someone. Uh, I don't know why. Maybe they really, really made whoever's up there angry. Not sure.
Oh, up there instead of down there? Is that do you have people up there and down there, or from like sideways too?
I um
Because we've
I
got people like out there, and then you've got some people down there, and then you got some people over there.
no, that was it's kind of an expression, you know, people up in the sky, religion, that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm not very religious.
That's fair. That's fair. That's all right. That's all right. Do not you worry. I make something of a bit of a study of religions, especially. Oh yes. Oh yes. 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 What are death customs like where you are from? I know we continentals have some very very quaint traditions.
Well, depends on where you're from, because even Tide Glen has stolen from a lot of places. But if you're born in Eventide Glen, usually you get a closed casket, probably something nice and knitted by those who cared about you. And unfortunately, if nobody cares about you, you don't get anything um, over it. And then, actually, that really depends on how you die. Now that I think of it, because if you and I kind of just lean on my hand and on the counter as I continue talking. Because if you die in like a mysterious, murderous way, you get taken to the morgue instead, and Anais figures you out and usually calls me and is like, "Hey, Nikolai, we've got another one." But
Interesting, interesting. So are you like do you work in the dev industry?
no, I'm an investigator. I am a private eye, a detective. We've been over this. So is most of the Midnight Crew. We're detectives. We're a detective agency.
Um, Periwinkle's gonna roll another time to try and figure out because I think last time all that we established was that it was like it's something like the City Watch.
Mhm. Have the badge and everything.
Okay, that's an unnatural 20.
Looks like Periwinkle has been reading up on what detectives are.
Oh, oh, so it is. Oh yes, yes, yes. I was reading about. I've been visiting the library over at the college. They have a lot more literature about things outside of the Cloud of Hearts Isle and outside of my usual area to study. So detectives, you try and figure things out. Yes, that is usually more like the work, the side of work I do, and my co-workers and associates. So that's very very cool. It's like we have something in common. All of your friends and all of my friends. We both try to figure things out. Uh, sometimes I make people die, but that is neither here nor there. It is not murder if it is consensual.
um, sometimes in my line of work, the culprit kind of let's just say they trip. I'm gonna I gotta roll again. That's not bad. So sometimes cases are solved pretty easily that way, and sometimes they're not as easily solvable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, some things take a very long time to figure out. But there is something to be said for the tenacity and the strength of will it takes to suss out all of the hard answers, even when some people do not want to know the answers to them. Those are the most important questions to answer. Sometimes I think.
Yeah, well, as long as I'm getting paid. Because if I'm not getting paid and the answers are kind of hard and it might be kind of dangerous, as in I might. Sometimes there are some things that don't need to be answered and can be left alone. Yep,
Well, we can agree to disagree on that one, I suppose.
you can roll
Uh,
an insight if you would like to
okay.
on that.
Periwinkle's fantastic, pretty, it's actually a pretty good insight. 18.
Um, Nikolai is very much bothered by leaving questions alone and not digging into things.
Okay. Uh,
And
Peri-
it's very clear that he's being pressured by something or somebody to say those kinds of things
is there
out
somebody,
loud.
is there somebody in that video? Is,
Nope, nobody's here, just me, just little old me.
interesting. I mean, you're not, I wouldn't say you're that little, but, pretty much everyone would say I was little, so,
I- I'm
uh,
I'm shorter than you.
yes, yes, but not by very, very much. Now, if I was Jean, if you had met Jean, then yes, I do think you would have been very little. I am something. I'm one of the smallest adults that I know. Uh, these aliens, they usually come quite tall. Um,
Who's
but
Jean?
hmm?
Who's Jean?
Oh, Gene is my coworker. He was actually supposed he was the one. He works over at the college. He's an instructor, Um
Mm.
so he was the one who technically was supposed to be there at the party, but you see, he fell ill and stuff like and such. But uh so I volunteered, I told him I would take care of it. So that way he could vest up, and I left him in the care of one of my students, and they know what the consequences would be if he did not, survive. So it all turned out very, very well. When we got back, he was back to his good old ways. Saying like, "Very Winkle, why did you do that?" And Very Winkle, their policies, and talking with Blair's like, "Blair, why did you know there are things you're supposed to do?" and all that, back to his good old self. Which is very, very good to see. I was a little bit worried, but I knew my student would take very good care of him, and it would all get taken care of. But yes, Jean is a very, very dear friend of mine.
Okay. Uh, it, I I feel like I need to process a little bit because that's a lot of information and wow. Um,
He's
where did
very
my words
tall. He's
go?
like a half, like one and a half of like these, because it's about usual size for a
Uh,
Viserion.
as tall as a Bon Arlo or taller? Trying to get a
Definitely.
gauge of size here based on people we've both
Hmm.
seen.
Yeah, probably somewhere close to one side. It's Vlaire is very, very tall. Definitely shorter than Vlaire. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
it's actually very interesting, Vlaire and everything like that. But yeah, sure, probably about uh, about the height of Vaughn or so. Um, but yes, yes, yes,
Terrifying.
yes. No, that is not terrifying. It's just about the usual height that, Viserians are. But, sometimes some people are a little bit shorter than others, and that is okay. It means I can fit into very small places that people don't expect you to go into.
uh, same. Same here. On on Casey is fairly tall, and you don't mess with Aunt Casey. She'll get you in a headlock and then force feed you breakfast. If you don't eat breakfast, like I have a bad habit of doing a lot of the time. It takes
What do you usually like to have for breakfast?
coffee.
Coffee?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm not very much a fan of coffee. Gene likes his coffee very, very much. He likes to drink it with blueberry syrup in it, but
Hmm.
usually I go for tea. But you should try seeing if usually one of my favorite breakfasts is blueberry pancakes. I like to have them with a bit of um, honey drizzled over them. It's very, very nice. Jean makes some fantastic blueberry pancakes. Um, I will have to try and see if I can make them for you when I come on over. Perhaps you will feel like eating breakfast more then, yes?
The reason why I usually just have coffee in the mornings is, well, most of the time I'm pretty busy with cases. Yeah, there's a lot of strange happenings and crime here in Eventide Glen. Or I'm at my second job, so
Your second job that was yeah, so crime and stuff, it's very, we do not usually have I guess it is very somewhat of a strange idea, like people doing things that do not benefit the whole of the society. That is very unfortunate. Um, you said you had one other job, but you also mentioned that you write books, yes?
yes,
What
yeah,
sort of research do you do?
I basically write from life. um,
So research about 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 the cadavers or perhaps decomposition rates, the curve between the decomposition curves contrasted from the soul and the body, or what sort of research do you write about?
I don't, I don't, I it's more of a biography. I'm writing about my cases usually, uh, mystery thriller type deals. um,
Oh.
I.
So so for like storybooks and stuff like that.
Yes, except it's really I write them so that if I disappear one day, someone will at least know I existed. Uh, yeah.
Well, I do not think I will forget you anytime soon. So, at least you do not have to. You can know one person will remember you very well, and you have some very lovely friends. I do think they care about you very very much. Creeps, what you call them? You
Preach.
call Creech. Yes, that is their the common name that you use for him. Creech says that some of your friends like to poke fun and tease you, but they're very insightful. I do think they are right when they say that they'll care for you very, very much. It's very, very sweet.
You're embarrassing me. I'm blushing. Oh, jeez. I don't know how to take this. uh,
Are you all right? Are you all right? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? I'm not very much used to talking with continentals and stuff like that. Perhaps I should look into taking some dueling
No,
moment
no,
classes.
it's okay.
I'm already a
That's just
professor, though.
that's just the kind of things that my mother would say about the Midnight Crew back when she was around.
Oh, you had a father. You had a father?
Yes, a mother and well, kind of raised among my mother, my aunts. Aunt Casey wasn't one of them. It, that's just what we call Casey, because she's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of your auntie. She's kind of everyone's auntie.
Mm-hmm, hmm. I know a couple of people like that. In some ways, that is what instructors and professors are. And the city watch. Everything like that. It is a very very interesting position to be in. It's nice to know you have people that care about you. So, are you guys? So, how does was you said that V-Town takes some people, yes, but some people are born there. Were you born there in Evening Tide, Glen?
Oh, yes, I was born here in Eventide Glen on the rough part of town. We had a very small apartment. I used to go out and play along along the river that streaks through the city. Sometimes it's not there. You know how it is.
I do not. So do bodies of water move around where you are from?
Well, uh, most of the city kind of just does. We really lucked out on our office here because it only moves sometimes, and it's usually
Mhm.
along skirting along the outskirts of town. My apartment has moved like 40 times over the
Fascinating.
past years that I've lived there. It's kind of a nightmare when I am so exhausted. I just want to go home and lay in my bed.
I have some temporal research coworkers who would be absolutely fascinated by this. But that does seem very, very unfortunate. Perhaps you should set up like a signaling board, like a locating beacon, and you can tune something to it, and that way
um,
you can find it.
you'd think it was that easy, but no, it's
It's
really
not
not. No.
incredible, incredible.
Honestly,
Oh,
honestly, the only things that really work here are the radios, and they only work sometimes and during like the time from 11 to like noon, and then it stops working, and then it works like at 5 till about right before you called me. So I was listening to our lovely radio host for the whole city.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. That is very, very interesting. The implications, the research that could be done. This is just so fascinating. Thank you very much, Nikolai, for talking with this. I'm so glad that I met you. We can, this. There's so many possibilities that you can do and stuff you can try and figure out. I've never heard about any place like this in Inkwell before. I do not know. I do not know why. I would think the college would try to figure those places out. But if you want something done, you do it yourself. Such like that. And all
Uh,
such like that.
uh,
You know.
yeah, as I said, we kind of don't tell the outside of the Glen more than small bits, or we don't talk about it at all because, well, like it's dangerous. We don't want Eventide Glen to become all of Ironquell, now do we?
I mean, Perhaps not. The college probably would have something to say about ecological diversity. But I mean, you almost talk about it as if it is spreading like some sort of contagion. I wonder if it is spreading in response to something, or if it is itself is propagating itself further out. There's more. There's more. And there's been scratching on pen and parchment this whole
Hmm.
time, but there's more. Oh.
I honestly don't. I'd have to ask Anais. Z might know a little better than I do. I'm not. I don't study medicine or whatever. Um.
Oh, I don't either, but you can dabble. Well, usually by the time I work with people, medicine doesn't do much. You know how it is. Sort of like
I
you.
mean, yeah. Although sometimes someone comes to me asking to find someone who's actually missing, and that's always nice because then maybe they're still alive. Uh, maybe. I'd
Mhm.
like to think that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I say thinking about all the times that I've been deep in my cups because of cases gone a dark and dreary turn.
Periwinkle's gonna roll an insight. Cause Nikolai is narrating everything they say.
um,
Think
so
and say.
Nikolai, you get the feeling that Nikolai is a heavy drinker, as in alcohol,
Mhm.
or at least the tune version of alcohol,
Mhm.
because there seems to have been quite a few cases that have gone, as he said, a dark way,
Mhm.
taking a turn for the worse.
Mhm. On the other side of the receiver, Periwinkle makes like a consoling noise, and you hear the sound of a paw like patting the ground. um, and says, I do not always, approve of those sort of, I suppose, coping mechanisms. But I do understand. I do understand. Sometimes some things happen in ways that people do not like to see or hear. And if you ever need to talk about anything, Nicola, I am here to talk if you would like. Um, you and Jean seem very very much alike. But and I'm always happy to sit and talk with Jean too. We like to go. We sit out on the cliffs on the university side where he doesn't have to worry about uh, any of the stuff he's got going on. And, we will just sit or we will talk or, however it is. So, I would like to do the same to you. If you have someone you would like to, something you would like to talk about, I'm happy to talk about things with you if you would like, Nikolai.
There is a moment of silence on the other end of the line, and it takes a little longer than you would expect before he goes, "Oh, uh, uh maybe next time we talk in person. This kind of stuff isn't something that I want to share with the vague yet menacing government that tends to listen in on all of my conversations.
Mm-hmm. That is
That are
understandable.
definitely not listening, and I definitely don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. you say very funny things sometimes, Nikolai. But yes, we can, it can wait whenever you're ready, whenever you want to, and do not worry. I'm a professor, stuff like that does not seem to, bother me in the same way as like, people from, the college. You're very interesting. You're like a blend of from the college and the university. But don't you worry. I can handle it if that is something you are very concerned about.
uh, maybe they'll grant me a pass for a longer amount of time away from Eventide Glen. I've heard of people who've been able to apply for those and actually gone on longer stints than I've been just now. So maybe I could come visit you. Maybe.
Oh, that would be wonderful. You would have to go through the college, and I'm afraid I do not think you would be able to visit my work. We have a lot of stuff going on that is not very, for even though your eyes, you are private in your eyes, there are still regulations in place that are, for reasons. But oh, I do think I could take you out to the cornfield, and we could face down some fiends in there if you would like.
Oh, that sounds actually pretty fun. I mm, I know I'd probably have to be escorted, but they might let me take the someone from you know my crew here instead of someone a little more threatening.
Oh, threatening's threatening. Everyone, even someone, may seem threatening on the outside. You just have to treat them nicely, and most of the time, you will see that things that you find scary are not as scary as you very much thought, and if they are very scary as you very much thought it, you just need to know how to hit very, very hard.
um, there. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go very soon. I hear a clicking of the lock, and I don't know who's gonna come through. Auntie Casey,
Oh, hey.
hi.
Oh, is that the Casey Tell? Oh, hey, hello, Casey.
It's about dinner time. I'm sorry if I stay on the phone. She's gonna continue to give me the evil eye. I gotta go, Periwinkle.
I do
Um,
know. I do know some words against the evil eye. If you would like me to, I will find a way to tell you how to put them out next time.
yeah,
But it is very nice talking to you, Nikolai. I'm glad you got back safe. Very good to hear. I will call you again tomorrow. Yes.
yeah, yeah, sure. You can call me tomorrow. I might not be here right away. Hopefully Auntie Casey will pick up. Uh, or Creech, 'cause well, I guess I like ya. Uh, bye.
Bye.
And the sound of rain cuts off.
Is Yeah. So I I suppose that leaves us with Periwinkle then. Um. Yeah. Uh. Periwinkle sits up from where they were kneeling on the floor. It's a dirt floor. It seems to be in some sort of almost basement-like area. But Periwinkle stands up and dusts off their knees and picks up the book and the piece of wood and the stick. Um, and shakes himself off a little bit because they are a little bit wet. They tend to get a little bit wet each time this happens. And the circle has that they drew has dissipated. So they dismiss. There's another set of circles that outline the area in which they had drawn drawn their circle as instructed
Mhm.
on the floor, and they uh, no, they smudge out a couple of different lines, and the faintly glowing the faint glowing subsides, and they step out of the uh the
Mhm.
stuff that's written on the ground. Hello. Uh, and scuff it out. They take like a broom and like a rake and rake it over, leaving it nice and smooth like the rest of the room, and trot out trot out the room and seal up a door behind them and go on up the stairs.
Mhm. And with that, we end this FPS. Tune in
Oh,
next for.
not actually roll. I don't know. One really quick. 1 second. That's Periwinkle's
Oh.
best stat. Okay. Um, audio is in. Audio is telling me to have Periwinkle roll perception. So Periwinkle rolled a 15. Audio. Okay, so they don't notice.
Oh
Periwinkle
no.
notices nothing. As they seal up the ritual basement and go about the rest of their evening. Uh,
So this wraps up this FPS. Tune in next for the sound of screaming, a screeching of a receiver, and an explanation being given to a very determined Furbolg who really wants some answers about this Professor Periwinkle who keeps calling. Thank you, everyone. And James Baxter, if you're listening, thanks.
I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you
Yeah.
have a great rest of your day.
And for
All
everyone
right,
else in the future and right now, thank you for listening. Goodbye.
bye.